Divine Guidance i får som få. Alla qui se färran, där one, you får banden så.
Hi, I'm Patricia McNair, your host of Divine Guidance with Patricia. If you are bursting to embrace and strengthen your connection to your divine guidance, your whole being, this is the show for you. Join me the first and third Wednesday of the month at 9 a.m. Pacific on transformationtalkradio.com. Are you ready to discover the amazing gift of the universe that is you? On Divine Guidance with Patricia, Spirit and I will trigger you to embrace and validate the light that you are. On my show, I will bring you thought-provoking, inspiring messages designed to ignite a spark of spiritual awareness, the first step to becoming a whole being. Join me on Divine Guidance with Patricia and discover your gifts and awaken your true sense of self to embrace and empower your spiritual, mental, and emotional well-being. Divine Guidance with Patricia starts now. Those gongs. Those gongs are from the sound beings, my friends, Rita and Phil. And I miss their gongs. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Divine Guidance with Patricia and Tanja today. Well, before we get started, I just want to let you know that I've been praying for some divine assistance for getting myself out there a bit more technique, which I'm not very good at. And I've had a couple beautiful beings step forward. So look at my website over the next couple weeks. You're not gonna believe some of the deals. I've been guided by Spirit October and November. My solution sessions, one-on-ones, are by donation only for October and November. And I said, well, that's really neat. And then I took the O from October and the N from November and said, it's on. So there we go. That's one of my specials coming up. I'm going to be involved in collaborating and having a story published in a very, very amazing opportunity. Actually, she's a host here on Transformational Talk Radio as well. Her name is Peggy. And this is book 3 of a wellness series. So I've had that opportunity come forward. So look forward to putting my story in there. And anyone else wants information, there's 3 spots left. And it's an amazing experience, chock full with lots of bonuses. All right, enough about that. I know you're all excited to actually meet this divine being that's sitting here on your screen. She's just so good. Everything's just so gorgeous. And the soul, the light being, comes through Tanja without any barrier. We haven't met that long ago, but I recognize the true light being that she is, and I'm just so honored to have her on my show. So, my sunlight just broke in half, and there is a triangle, a pyramid. I wonder why. Without further delay, I'm going to introduce you to Tanja Powell. How are you, Tanja?
I'm wonderful. It's so good to be here with you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, she did it first. She invited me to her show. And so I did go with her, and I said, I have to reciprocate, because when we communicate, it flows. It's just divine flow between us, and I love that. Tanja, for my audience, can you please let us know a little bit about you? I know you do a lot of shows, and you help a lot of people, but I was asked for my soul being to this 1 hour is about you. Who you are, what you do, what you love,
all right,
how you operate.
Well, I'm a soul having a human experience first. This is not my first rodeo, so to speak. And the more we step into this new paradigm we're going into, or new realm that we're have available to us, and the new energies we have available to us, the more I get to find out more about me. So I, in this lifetime, I'm in North Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. I was born in Vancouver, BC. So I've been in this area for a long time. I've lived throughout BC. I grew up with my dad doing road construction, so we moved all over. And so it forced me to be the new kid, to have to try and fit in. And even though I never really fit in at all, anywhere, ever, that's just part of life. And I'm realizing that I'm my own person, right? And always kind of beat my own drum. And when everybody was running this way, I was always like, but what's over here? And so I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this. And definitely black sheep of the family, so to speak, because I don't conform. So, and I don't believe anyone should conform. I believe we're all to be standing in our own power at this point, so that we can be the best version of ourselves. And that's what I like to guide people on. My spiritual journey really started, I run a painting business, which I'm in the midst of selling so that I can step more into the next level, so to speak. And I was overwhelmed. So I bootstrapped the business. I've had it for 18 years. And it was about 7-8 years ago that I ended up hiring a coach, because I just couldn't do it on my own anymore. I'm like, this is too much. I was doing wearing a lot of the hats in the business, and it just became overwhelming. And along with this business coach, I got a master certified coach to work with me one-on-one. And I just kept saying, I'm just so busy. And then he said, oh, well, by claiming that you're a manifesting being, you're telling your brain what you want. It's just giving you what you're asking for. And so you won't be able to focus, and you won't be able to do that. And we came to the conclusion that at the end of the call that, well, your brain's not really your friend. It's like a CPU computer. And then the subconscious is the programming that's running from years 1 to 7. And then everything is compared to that. And you pick up millions of pieces of information every single second that you're not even aware of. And so what that entailed was, I got off the phone and I was like, well, I'm not waiting a month to have another call. I need more information now. And that actually led me over to personal development around Mind Valley. I don't know if anyone's familiar with Vision. And I ended up coming on board with them and being a master certified trainer and hosting seminars. And then when they started to dictate that you need to do it like this, because I put everyone in circles right away, I didn't do the standard format. And you need to speak this way, and you need to do it this way. And I said, I'm out. So if I can't be me, then I'm out. Mm-hmm. And went on to create Adventures for Connection, which is about getting like-minded people together and getting people reconnected first with themselves and who they are. Because once you get to know you and you fall in love with you, the whole world outside of you changes and shifts. And that's the beauty of this experience and this unfolding that's occurring at this time with the Conscious Collective. And I'm here to help the collective. I'm here to assist, like you, through this consciousness transformation, because as far as I'm concerned, the light is one. We're there. It's just a matter of, things take time in the physical to play out. So I don't observe much of what I call the show, the external. I always go inside for the answers and just focus on me. What do I need? What do I need to work on? And when I'm guiding others, it's like giving them the tools so that they can do it themselves. And so I've got Reiki, I've got quantum. I did a freedom from self-sabotage coaching program. And so I combined those things. But really, what I truly believe as healers, what we're doing is we're allowing the client per se, or the other person, to feel our vibration and where we're sitting at a level, and inviting them to feel that. And in feeling that, giving them then the tools to get there themselves. And so for me, it's an inward journey, moving forward and getting people to understand, not understand, but understand themselves a lot more, and what makes them tick and what makes them happy, and what are their gifts, because everyone's got amazing gifts. And often we don't know what they are until they're pointed out. Yeah, which is beautiful.
Wow. You unpacked so much there. We could do a whole day show just on that. And there's so much more about you. I love the fact, did you say you took some sort of coaching
I
facilitate?
have, yeah, absolutely. I've done a couple different programs. I've always spoken a lot around business to begin with in a networking group. So I was very comfortable public speaking. I do a lot of live videos around Powell painting. So I'm very comfortable. I'm super blunt. I'm honest, and
Oh,
you take it or leave it. That's kind of how I am, right? I don't pussyfoot. I don't dance around. Yeah, I'm just like, you want what I have to say. You might not like it, but you're gonna get it.
um, just before we go to break, I think it's really amazing the fact that I've always said I'm not in a personality contest because I would lose hands down. Because when you bring forward an open multi-channel, and you have to be an open multi-channel to work with the variety and diversity of beings that are here on the planet right now, because they're all from different
Yes.
rays of consciousness, different divinities, different levels. A lot of people have restraints on them that need to be on them, or else they would super blow through and not do what they came or agreed to do. So, in knowing that somebody can wake up like this and pass me, I'm excited about that. I got no issue with that. Go girl. As a matter of fact, leave some fairy dust so I can see some of what you do, right? Like the passion in sharing. That, when you're a trigger to other beings, you provide sacred space, you provide as much tools as you can, and allow them to, and encourage them to grab their tools, right? But you know what? Anybody handling the hammer with the first time is going to hit the fingers once in a while, but who gets blamed? You get blamed because they hit their fingers. So it's really unique and interesting. So you learn how to not take things on. And
100%.
so, yeah, and that's for me personally was the hardest thing, not to take responsibility for everybody else's learning and experience. So Spirit had me go through 3 years at Regina University of Life Skills, right? So we could cover all 5 areas of life, and to assist, so that my delivery and my taking on the responsibility for somebody else, I had to learn that. That was a very tough lesson for me, because like, oh, I hurt their feelings. No, you didn't. So with that said, we're going to go into a break. And then when we come back, I want to get into some of the books, and I want to get a little bit deeper into your adventures for connection, because even the label itself excites people. So after this,
Yeah.
we'll be right back. Thanks.
Awesome.
How you doing? Well, I never stopped talking during the whole break, have we, Tanja? So we're gonna get back to the show, and you guys, thanks everyone for popping in and taking a look at this show and meeting Tanja, because it will elevate your life in one way or another. The show will trigger you and allow you to feel more comfortable in your own physical form. How's that? So I'm going to hand it right back to you, Tanja. I would like to hear a little bit, before you get into Adventures of Connection, I'd like to hear a little bit about your 2 books and what inspired you to bring them forward.
As part of Mind Valley, there's a woman that was involved in creating these collaborative books. And the first one was on parenting, and I wrote a chapter in the book on raising Jade. So Jade is my daughter, and she's 17 now. And how I raised Jade differently than I was raised, right? So when I actually got pregnant on the pill, so I wasn't planning on having kids. And when I got pregnant on the pill, I was like, damn, this kid really wants to be here. And so I'm like, okay, I'll do it. And I'm very glad I did, of course. She's a beautiful soul, and we'll be traveling together. And what I did differently, what I really want to remind everyone is, as a parent, you are a guide for a soul that's learning how to be human, to have this experience, because we're all souls having a human experience. You don't own your child. Your child isn't your property. It doesn't belong to you. You are there to guide it and do the best you can to guide it in such a way that when it goes out into the world on its own, that it has the tools necessary to have a wonderful life. And so for me, it was getting down to her level and always giving her choices, speaking to her that she understood no matter what. And she did. There was never a question about she didn't understand, but okay, we're going to have to leave the park now. We can go get a snack now, or we get a snack when we get home. Really simple choices like that. But just that knowing, right? You got 5 more minutes to wrap up what you're playing with. And just having that experience and giving her choices on what she wanted to do. And so she's a very opinionated for her own right and very observant soul. So, being that observer. And it's not to say that I was perfect, but that chapter was definitely around that. And also, being that observer and not being a helicopter parent. So she would fall and I'd observe, oh, she's okay. Let her get up, let her dust herself off, let her come to me so that she doesn't feel like she needs to be rescued constantly. And so that just creating that independence. And when Jade was 6 months old and I was at home with her full time, she was miserable. Unless we were on the bus, at the library for story time, at the pool, then she was happy. And I'm like, this kid doesn't want to hang out with just me. She's a little social being. And so I found somebody that was like a mother. Her name was Judy, and she was just up the hill, and she helped raise Jade. So we did that together. She helped potty train her. She helped, and Jade thrived because she really getting that extra sensory stuff was important for her. So even at 6 months old. And so it was like, oh, good. Okay, I can work and she's happy and I'm happy. And look, we're all happy. Wonderful. So you do what works for your family. A lot of parents just want to stay at home full time. It's whatever works for you. And so in that parenting book, there's a lot of really beautiful stories about all ages and parenting experiences from loss to, wins, right? We share it all, so to speak. And so it was really quite a unique experience. And then I went on to write also one and lead one on entrepreneurship and how operating a business isn't about chasing on the external. It's about energetically being you and holding your space. And I'm very blunt. I don't sell, I educate. And in that education, if it's a right fit, they're going to align. And so it's about alignment more. So it's not about, oh, I got to market on Facebook. I got to do Google ads. I got to do no, it's about connecting. And so finding people that resonate with you. And for me, it was Business Networking International for the beginning of the business, which is a networking group that worked really well because you created a circle of people that were likely to refer back and forth. And then I would go visit other chapters because there was very few painting companies in BNI at that time. And now there's one in every single one. And it was really beneficial. So I'm a conscious connector and I'm a big networker. I know people around, like for us to connect, it's very easy for me to connect the right people together. A lot of the time I'm sending people, oh, you're supposed to meet. And then I'm out of the picture. And so I'm just connecting souls, so to speak, that are meant to connect over things. And so it's been a really beautiful experience. And so those are the 2 chapters I've written. I tend to do more video than I do written at this point because I like to interact. It's way more fun. I love to share knowledge and to gain knowledge. I believe we're all perpetual learners. And when you're meant to learn something new, it'll show up, and it may show up as a trigger or a challenge. Oh, why am I being triggered by this right now? What's going on with this? Or I have like today, I'll share a live example. I woke up this morning going, who beat me up last night? Like, what the heck? And one of my soul family members is Norma. And Norma is a seer and she remembers things. I don't get to remember quite as much yet. And she's like, oh, I just have to tell you what happened last night. I was like, oh, this is what happened. So we were collapsing a timeline and she came in to help me. And yeah, I was being tortured. So because of my voice, and this has been my ongoing lifetime, is to lead souls home, so to speak. And we're all just walking each other home through this adventure we call life in this realm. And she said, yeah, I had to break his neck. And I was like, oh, thank you for breaking his neck. Now I just got to work on my body because I feel it. Yeah. So she remembered that part of it. Yeah. And she said, that was a big one. So just so you know, you probably are feeling it. So I've done some work this morning on it. It's already feeling better, but it's amazing how even going in and closing a timeline can come into the physical here and now as you wake up. I just find it all so fascinating, the whole energy perspective, and there's nothing right or wrong. It just is. There isn't, I'm not upset about it. It just, it is. And then you deal with it and move on.
Yeah, you go through the experience, you take what you need from it, and you let the rest go. It's an interesting point you put in there about, going through just collapsing the timeline, and it can come so much into the physical. My knowing on that, Tanya, is that there's been a sandwich created. And so we've got a lot of dark matter, dark forces, dark intent sandwiched in. They don't want to go that way. They want to keep coming back this way. So that's why until that whole sphere or cycle is cleared, I'm finding myself too. A lot of things that I used to do, like being summoned out there, or doing what, to keep the lingo so that it's okay. I would always say dream time, but we all know it's not really dream time, is it? But I'm finding that like 20 years ago, we were closing down negative entrances and reopening up new ones, not new ones, but ancient ones that have been closed down because of their presence and for the protection of this beautiful multi-dimensional plane. How's that? And so with that, we were facing the energy at the time, but now that supply's been cut off for 20 years more. So they can't gain from that. They can only gain from here. So that's why they want to keep coming back here to gain for that. And so we were working with the energy when we were working with huge nebulas, and we were working with the portals and the gateways. We were working with the actual energy. And the presence wasn't as dominant. And now that energy's closed off. So now we're dealing with these big buggers, excuse my language, that are coming full force because they're like, we can get through. No, you can't. You can't touch us. However, so that's why it feels more physical. And also, the universal law, if it doesn't go down the physical, it won't go down. So everything that's going on right now that everyone is portraying as a movie, what it is, it's a cycle of time and events that is allowing the new earth to come into the physical. A lot's already been created etherically and in place. It's like a tree. A tree is there etherically 50 years before you see the little beautiful sprout come to the ground. And I'm just going off again. We've got 1 minute. We're going to take a very quick break. We'll make this one a short one, Sierra, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Divine Guidance with Patricia and Tanya. Wow. This could be a whole day show. And so are you guys ready? Are you ready to, make supper with us? No, just kidding. I will definitely have Tanya back again because this is amazing. But I'm not going to take up a lot more space or time. I'm going to give it back to you, Tanya. And if you want to go into how you created adventures for connection, just say that. You're traveling. You're going somewhere, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, for me, this, if this is a divinely created realm of sacred geometry and we create our reality, so everything we think, everything we say, every action we take is creating our external reality, then isn't it like an adventure game? I used to play Zelda when I was a teenager and I loved Zelda. I thought Zelda was so cool. And this is way better than Zelda. You can't make this stuff up that happens. So as you go on these adventures and you wonder what magic will happen, I do quite a few retreats at somewhere called Vedette Lake. And so we do focus on energy points for these events because I believe it's creates more magic and allows people to possibly maybe feel a bit more energy to work through things, to have that support. So Vedette Lake is in the interior of BC, and there's an energy vortex there. There's also a sweat lodge there. I was just there on the weekend doing a purification, and yeah, there's a lake to swim in. There's a waterfall nearby, and there's this area called the center where the energies are, and they've gridded up so much more in the last 6 months. It's actually kind of mind blowing. So when I go in, I'm like, oh, it's even tighter. Like you can feel that it's like vibrating. And it's a beautiful spot because, as we know, it's like a spider web going up and going down, and energy going out to the collective. So the work that we do there, and then each individual person always gets what they need. There's a lot of plant medicine on the land. And sometimes we add plant medicine, such as psilocybin mushrooms, to our events if people are interested in getting a different perspective. Yeah. And so food is always catered. One-on-one is always happening. There's always these beautiful messages that come in, and everyone always gets what they need. And so it's part of a collaborative. There's no rigid schedule. There's an outline because we work with the collective that's coming in. What does everyone need and what would they like? And sometimes we'll split the groups up and do different things with them. So Vedette is one. I've got Egypt coming up. I'll be traveling through the US this winter is the plan as well. And definitely off to Japan at some point. There's some magic points there that I need to go and check out. Australia, Mexico. Those are sort of my, and funny enough, it's not Canada. So I'm not actually meant to stay here. I'm meant to travel and share wisdom and bring a different perspective to people. And so that's what really Adventures for Connection is about. It's about getting out of your regular routine and learning how to have another perspective, because I know for myself, and I'm sure you can relate, you're either the victim, right? We have this little triangle that we've been programmed to play in.
The human drama triangle. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And so only when you become the observer and you stop speaking and you observe first and you don't react, and then instead you respond and you preserve your own energy, that's when the big shifts, I believe, start to happen. When you realize that you're the common denominator in everything going wrong in your life, if that might be you, and you start to take responsibility and you start to work on you, because there's nothing external. There's no psychologist that can talk you through all of it. There's nothing that's going to do it. You need to do the work. And when you realize that, and you just add little steps every day, those become bigger and bigger. And all of a sudden, before you know it, you're flying, and now you're guiding others. And so in being a beacon, like we are, a lighthouse for those seeking change, seeking to change within themselves, that's my only mission, is to light up as many people as possible as you, so that we can get this collective consciousness onto this other side as smoothly and efficiently as possible for the highest of all. Yeah.
Yes. And I always put it in, you have the right and responsibility. Like a lot of people feel taking responsibility is not a positive, especially if it's something they're really beating themselves up on or having a hard time to get through. So I brought in, you have the right to be happy. You have the right to, if the choices you're making in not taking responsibility for the situation, is that allowing you to have your rights? Right. Yeah. So I put the right and responsibility together, but I love how you put that. How did you come up with the idea of Adventures for Connection? Where did that come from? Directly
that came from doing the Mind Valley seminars. Mm-hmm. And nobody wanted the content. They already knew the content. What they wanted was connection. Okay. That was the missing key. And Mind Valley didn't want to do anything about it. So I was like, well, I'll do it. And so it's about creating community and connection, because it's one of the biggest human needs, is to feel heard, to feel connected, to feel loved. And when you work on yourself and you get everything right within you, and you become of service and from unconditional love. There's no judgment. I don't care what dark things have happened. That's where the brightest light is. Great. Let's dig into it. Right? Because, you know, the self-judgment, we are our own worst critic. And so then reprogramming that subconscious and having another opinion. And, you know, when you put everyone in a circle and they speak, they're all teaching each other. It's all I'm doing is guiding. And so because in that person's words, somebody hears it and then that triggers them to remember. And now they're all sharing and connecting. And that's the beauty of it all. And so it's just this beautiful guidance and a call in, basically. If you're looking for your tribe, you know, find it, because that's where the healing becomes. And, you know, we should probably talk about the difference between spirituality and new age too. For
we might.
That'd be
Just in a
silly.
minute. That's going to be really good. High topic. I just want to put that you said that you're helping them to have the connection, but also we're gatekeepers. We're gatekeepers of sovereignty, not allowing domains to be crossed. Having conscious awareness to not only the person's reaction, but the energy flow. Like in the middle of the circle, there is an energy flow, and you can feel it when it goes, So you dive in, you look at that person, you see how you can draw that person in, or allow that person not to be so majorly overtaking the circle. Like there's so many different things in circles.
It's an orchestra of frequency.
It is. It's fun too. It's fun when you don't take it on yourself. Like when you can actually be. Most people, and if you watch some of my back shows, I'm the ping pong ball. I had this beautiful being paint my soul on, and I was the ping pong ball and the white furry rug. And it bothered me for years because, you know, my husband was this divine intervention of, you know, deception, and he was all divine. I was a ping pong ball. But now I understand it because I love serves up. Here we go.
Yeah.
Like I love that part of it where others may not be attracted to that part. They may want to go, no, I'm happy right here, Trish. You know, so
Absolutely. I love
so
that.
we're going to dive into this one, are we?
And we should tap into it maybe after your next small break.
Okay.
Yeah. And so
you're off to Egypt.
I'm off to Egypt. So
You've been to Egypt before.
Yeah, we go. I've been before. I went by myself in March. I was guided to go now. Okay. So away I went. And went by myself. I had a couple connections there, but really met the best connection looking for a taxi, and just went, oh, well, this is where I got dropped off. So I went down and found this fellow who is a lovely soul who I'm working with on this specific retreat. And so we booked a private in the pyramid and a private in the Sphinx, so that when we come in and we go through that, Cairo's got really dense energy. And the pyramids are very close to that. So we've got a hotel that's a little more further away because I don't like to be mixed in with that much energy. And we're going to purge everyone. So Serafina is coming on board as well. So there's two of us working to guide everyone. But basically, we've all had timelines in Egypt. And therefore, to go in and purge that, because there's definitely some stuff that needs purging, which is why I think I'm so strongly purging right now, is so that I can be prepared when we get there. It's not that I need to do a bunch more. It's just what comes through. So, right. And then to be able to look at it. And so we do that. And then we head down to the Red Sea. And that is sort of like healing, rebirthing per se. All right. We've cleared that now. And now who are you? What do you want? Like just massage that along a bit and let everyone swim in the water of the Red Sea. And there's the Sinai Mountains are right there, and they're all built from crystals. So another good spot to go tap into. And then we'll head up the Nile and go to Aswan and Karnak. There's I've set up some magic spots there as well. So it's more about an adventure of unfolding. And even I don't know everything that's going to happen, but I do know that I'm very, very comfortable in being uncomfortable. So no matter what is coming at me or what is coming up, it's like, oh, cool, we get to work through this, do we? And so for me, it's just excitement. So even when external stuff in the show is going on and I'm like, I just laugh. I'm like, awesome. How exciting, right? Like, it's just when you just be the observer and you're not absorbing things and taking it all on as if you have to fix it or you have to shift yourself in order for things to work properly. And you just observe it and don't absorb it. And I'm not saying don't have emotions, but there's this beautiful unconditional love neutrality of no matter what's going on, what would love do? Yeah.
Exactly right. What would love do? My thing is, where's creator in this? Where's spirit in this? You know, where's my soul in this? How can I openly, I mean, many times I go to creator. I don't get this, creator, but I'm here. I'm here. Let's go dance. Let's go do what we need to do. All right. I don't think we're going to get into that big spiffy topic because
no
we're
problem
at a time.
No
but
problem.
I would like to have you back for that topic specifically.
100%.
Because it's something that is coming by the higher teachings, by Mother Earth. The next show I'm having is with a very, very beautiful being. And we're going to be discussing the vision of the universal clan mothers reinstating through the nations, star nations, the original universal laws of the clan mothers. They're returning to Mother Earth. So that's going to make a big shift, isn't it? Remind me also to talk to you off camera about Egypt, because you and I, when you come back, may have a very interesting show about Egypt itself. I'm sitting in Nova Scotia, which was a part of northern Egypt that floated down and hit the North American continent. And I know why I was born here and what I'm doing here. And it's no doubt in conjunction with some of what everyone else is doing. So that's great. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to hand it directly over to Tanja. She's going to share with my audience and hers, because I know you got some beautiful beings watching, whatever she wants to.
Awesome.
We'll be right back. Hello, welcome back to Divine Guidance. Got me talking again. See, that's why I'm a good host, because now I just never stop talking. All right, to all the other hosts here on TTR, thank you for the energy and the vibration. When I logged on today for the show, I knew that there had been so many beautiful shows in the last 2 or 3 days that have created this magnificent, beautiful energy. So I want to thank the other hosts and guests as well for everything that you do to prepare for all of us to come on and share. So thank you for that. I need to stop talking, even though this lady excites me and I love talking with you, Tanja. But I'm going to give you the last few minutes of the show to say and do whatever you want for the audience. And I'll see you next time, everyone, on Divine Guidance with Patricia.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it'd be really nice to share sort of currently what's going on energetically and how you can best deal with it. And so from an individual perspective, because that's really, we're all bringing our energy forward. And so being the observer of your thoughts and your actions and your words, and reprogramming your subconscious through sticky notes, even affirmations. And whenever an energy comes in that you're like, that's heavy, or I don't like this, or I'm angry, go to gratitude. What can you be grateful for? Because energy is like a wave. It comes and it goes, right? We don't have to cling on to something and hold on to it as if it's a lifeline. We can just ride that energy wave and reset it and send it off with love. So if something is angering you or triggering you, you can ask, oh, what is this trying to show me? Because everything is always happening for you, not to you. And so if everything's always happening for you and not to you, and you're in control of your reality with what you think, say, and do, then why wouldn't you want to have a great time here? Why wouldn't you want to make it the best adventure? And why wouldn't you want to create abundance? Whatever abundance may mean for you, you can create it. And especially in these times, things are speeding up and happening faster. Now, the collective can be a little bit heavy at the moment. So the first thing I always do if I'm feeling something is this mine? And if it's not mine, and that's the answer I get, however you might get answered, and that often just takes being quiet with yourself. And I do a lot of dowsing. You can douse with your body, or you can douse with a rod or fingers, whatever your way of guiding yourself is. A lot of the time for me is just a knowing. Then I will say, please send that energy to Mother Earth, and she'll transform it into something else, or send it to the sun. So we have this ability to direct where things are going as well. And same with your emotions. A lot of people get trapped in anxiety or depression because they think things are happening to them. But when you can look at that and go, oh, is this mine? And if it's mine, what happened in my past, possibly my childhood or another timeline, past life, whatever you want to call it, that anxiety is coming from? And so to actually dig into it a bit and also again sit with it. So I'm constantly having a memory come up maybe from childhood and go, oh, I didn't feel safe then. Interesting, that's popping in right now. And taking that event and being the observer and not going into that child's experience again, but observing it from who you are now, because you've made it until now. You've always survived. You're still here. Whatever's been thrown at you, you've gotten through. And so you could imagine taking that child at that event and saying, hey, come sit on my knee. I just want to share with you that we've got this. We've survived until now. And this experience is part of who we are. And that's okay. We don't have to focus on this in this way anymore. We can transform it into something better. And so I look at every experience, and I can tell you I've had quite the life, and us older souls tend to choose the hardest lives with the most challenges. And a lot of the time we create those challenges ourselves because we didn't know any better. And we're blaming other people for things that are happening with us and to us. And so working through these things for you and for your highest good by being that observer and by sitting with the energies, maybe journaling, maybe speaking about it. A lot of the time, if it's an event, I suggest that people write it out and burn it. I like to burn things to transform them. I'm in the tropical calendar, I am a Leo. Yeah, I'm a double Leo actually. And I'm a Cancer in the sidereal astrology, and both resonate. So they both kind of ebb and tide, so to speak. And just, not needing to be right and not needing to be perfect, and just doing the best you can each and every day. And when something goes wrong, to not blame yourself. Oh, interesting, that happened. Why did that happen? And observing it and working through it. So there's no stuffing things away anymore. Everything needs to come out of the darkness. You don't need to go on an endless hamster wheel of healing and being in the transformational shadow work. I find a lot of people go into that and do it for years and years. I'm like, no, you don't need to do that. You can just allow them to come up as they need to and work through them, because I just want everyone to know you're absolutely perfect right where you are. You're right where you're supposed to be. There's no right or wrong in this. And without each of us, and so Patricia's been at this much longer than I, and I love that about her, and I appreciate that. Yeah. And there's others, we're all just lifting each other up and walking each other home. And so what can you do to shine your light a little bit brighter? What do you need to do for you? And that's what I would love everyone to realize, is that you have everything you need within you, even though you may have not been taught that. This is the opportunity now, and you will be squeezed, as we were talking earlier about the energies being really squeezed right now. It's being forced out so that you can, for the first time in this body, become a crystalline being within the body instead of having to transform out of the body. And that's really what's so exciting about right now. Yeah, absolutely.
It is a beautiful time to be here. If you're here, You asked to be here. You chose to be here. Open up. Open up to your beautiful divine heart and know that you're enough, and know that you have so much beauty to come in and through you. So I want to say thank you, Tanya. I'll have you back soon. Maybe I'll have to pick you up from the Sphinx and do we'll do a show soon. And I really do love and honor your being. Thank you for being here.
My light, the light in me honors the light in you. Appreciate you very much. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. See you next time on Divine Guidance with Patricia.
Thank you for listening to Divine Guidance with Patricia on transformationtalkradio.com with me, Patricia McNair. Tune in next time to explore more challenges that can help you achieve your whole being. I know we are all capable of truly being whole, and with a little empowerment, anyone can access an entire universe of knowing that is just waiting to be explored. For more information about me and my services, visit divineguidance.earth. That's divineguidance.earth. See you next time, where together we focus on solutions for the whole being.